Okay, so this is Beardgate. If you are following the Fort Huachuca story, there are so many twists and turns in this story. I honestly can't be making this stuff up. So what happened, if you guys didn't listen to our live yesterday, we went through everything. Mitch obviously believes that he saw Erica Kirk and Cabot Phillips at a hotel on Fort Huachuca base, and this was on September 8th in the evening. He didn't accuse him of doing anything weird, just walking out of the hotel into a green pickup truck. Okay, so I obviously messaged Cabot Phillips. I've been trying to get a response from him, and I had noted that he was not seated in his typical chair over at the Morning Wire. It's a daily morning show that they have at the Daily Wire. And so he appeared to be on vacation, last appearance being on September 4th through to when Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. Here's what happens next, quite interestingly. So Brian Harpole gives a kind of non-alibi wrong flights. Erica provides an alibi via Andrew Colvett to a YouTuber. Wrong day. It's September 9th. We're just like, can we get something solid? Well, Liz Wheeler jumps in out of nowhere this morning and she's like, gotcha, debunked, because you're saying he was seen on the 8th, but here you go. He's on the show, on his show on the 4th at the Daily Wire. And then here he is on the 8th as well, but he's actually not in studio. It's clearly some satellite thing. And I'm going to show you what she posted here as proof that he was, I guess, on the show on September 8th. Except the real glaring inaccuracy was the fact that she missed that Cabot Phillips had posted on X that following the 4th, in the evening on the 4th, he had completely shaved his beard off and was like, I'm only going to have a mustache for the next 3 weeks. I guess that's how long it takes to grow his beard. Men say it takes like usually a month to grow your beard back, but she missed this. So take a look at what Cabot posted on the 4th before he went on vacation. Less than 4 days later, Cabot, for whatever reason, is on the Daily Wire joining Satellite, which is what Liz was referring to, on the morning of the 8th, and his full beard is back, which means that this segment was pre-recorded. The earliest it could have been recorded was on the 4th. Making matters even more odd is that 2 days later on the 10th, he would be back on the Morning Wire and the beard's gone, starting to grow back, but still gone. So clearly the 8th was pre-recorded, and yet they felt the need to release it on the 8th, which is obviously the exact date that Mitch thinks that he saw Cabot in Arizona on Fort Huachuca base. Look, I know that we have magic bullets in this story, but I draw the line at magic beards, okay? This is just not how beards grow. Again, this doesn't necessarily, we can't extrapolate that and be like, oh, well, this means he was definitely at Fort Huachuca. Obviously not. I reached out again to Cabot today, just trying to get some clarity on why they would record something on the 4th and then try to make it look like it was live on the 8th. There are 1,000 different reasons, like I've said from the beginning. First off, Daily Wire does normally pre-record everything, but it's usually pre-record and then released on the same day. And maybe he wanted to pre-record it because he was going on vacation. 1,000 different options here than to try to be like, oh, well, this means he was definitely at Fort Huachuca. But it is interesting that every time somebody moves to try to debunk something and is so over the top about it, it actually ends up showing us something else that maybe requires a little further examination. So I will say it's becoming increasingly compelling, and maybe also a part of me is interested in this because I have found Ben Shapiro's behavior to be very over the top and strange. Like he's like personally invested in the story somehow. Could it be because Cabot Phillips was at Fort Huachuca? Maybe it's not, and it's just completely separate. But if you do know where Cabot Phillips was on the 8th, since we can't get an answer from him, please email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com, because, like I said, we are actively trying to debunk Mitch. We are also out to Erica, and there has been some communication. We're working on trying to ascertain where she was as well. Hopefully we will know more, and maybe it's just a big nothing burger.